Um, eh. Okay, let's start. As to why I'm doing this, I am upskilling. Let's go, foundations. Oh, my friend recommended this to me, just to learn. Web development, and I'm gonna start from scratch because I think I lost all my skills. So apparently afterwards there's two pathways after you're done with the foundations. Depending on what you do on the foundations, you can choose which one you prefer the most. Yeah. This is where all begins, hands-on introduction to all the essential tools you need to build real cooking websites. Introduction, motivation, mindset, asking for help, computer basics, how does web work, installation. Oh no, I need to download. Instruction to zip, HTML, recipes, intro CSS, Flexbox. Do you think this web page is done the same way? maybe. Probably. Ooh. Okay, yeah. Coding project is an open source community dedicated to providing the best information sources to take you from zero to full stack developer. Yes! In this unit, you'll learn about how web works and start thinking about basics of computer and web programming. Each of the following sections and lessons covers essential baseline knowledge, even if you have no intention of becoming a web developer. This material should help you gain a useful understanding of moving parts involved in creating and serving content on the web. Start by getting familiar with the internet, and on with the next we start developing an environment to learn about Git and GitHub. Git and GitHub, yes. We go over a piece of front-end technologies like HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Before stepping into the back end with a brief foray that covers basic concepts of back-end technologies. By the end of this unit, you should not only understand how web works, but also be able to identify and differentiate between all the technologies that you will use to build your own web applications. You'll be able to build a basic web page, style it, and add minor elements of interactivity while working comfortably from the command line. This section intentionally covers a range of topics, so you go diving straight into server-side programming context for what it is and why it's useful. How the curriculum works, how the foundation courses work. This curriculum works by aggregating the best content from across the internet to teach a specific topic. In this lesson, we will introduce topic and try to provide some useful context before pointing you to external resources when there are others. Most lessons will contain questions that you should be able to answer before moving on. Some lessons will include exercises for you to complete. In addition, we provide several projects throughout the curriculum that help you grow your understanding by actually building things. Try not to think of coding project or programming as a class in school. It's not material you learn all at once. Take a test, pass a fail, you think of it as a snowball. You yourself are a snowball. Damn, I'm caught. Right now, a hill full of snow, the further you roll, the more. That's natural and happens to everyone. The projects are not tests of what you have memorized so far. Practice points where the information will come back to you as you start solving problems one at a time. Rely on Google and the learning community for help. Why this course does not cover a language or a tool? So is that once you complete this curriculum, you will not need a course like this or any sort of tutorial. Not teach you any standalone skills, and it's not a tutorial. My idea is to teach you why and change the way you think. Adopting the right mindset, learning the core ideas of programming. Problem solving, asking the right questions, and doing enough research. Getting in a position where you are comfortable with the skills will mean that you will also be comfortable at expanding your skill set. Once you have a solid base, it'll be simpler to expand upon it. Exactly what our coding project is about. After completing the course, you'll be in a position where you simply jump straight into the documentation for anything you're trying to learn. Reading the documentation is the best way to learn any tooling. But it takes skill to master. Many people feel intimidated by the technical jargon, which is understandable. People who write documentation usually assume a background in programming. This is exactly why we will give you plenty of material to read on your own. The skills you will gain upon completing the coding project will be the foundation that you will be building upon for years and decades to come. If you come out of the course thinking you need another course like this one to learn something like Python, then you either don't believe in yourself or you haven't taken away the important ideas that are covered in this course. Skills you learn here are transferable to various contexts. Once you know the idea and that it's possible to do something, actually find out how to do the thing becomes significantly easier, and it's simply a Google search away most of the times. I searched for all around the world why is this hyperlinked? Okay. All over the aspire to learn how to become developers, please be aware that this curriculum is written in English and maintained by English speakers who are not able or expected to translate it for you. As you develop in the programmer, you find that the world you are entering into is firmly rooted in the English language. Syntax of a programming language, the documentation that teaches you how to use it, and the majority of the people in the community are all expecting to communicate with you in English. If you are a non-English speaker or English is not your primary language for you, this fact is not meant to discourage you but to prepare you. This is another part. As another part of this preparation, we will highly recommend spending extra time on topics and terms that you do not understand right away. We also encourage you to seek out additional resources that teach about these topics in your own native language so you can understand them more fully. In addition to this, you might also consider using a translation dictionary on your own language alongside our curriculum so you can readily reference it as you go. Can you see it? Okay, yeah, can. We do not have any recommendations on this since there are such a wide variety of languages spoken throughout the world. Finding one may perhaps be a good first step in learning how you find. You know what? Hold up. Oi. Um, yeah, let's try this. Okay. And where do I... There's only 3 here, that's crazy. So it's this lah. Oh, it's too loud. Make it softer. Okay. Okay, where was I? There are not very recommendations. They have a wide variety of language. Both have a very good chance of learning how students should improve. What comes next? Once you've completed this course, you should feel comfortable with building blocks of web programming by itching to dig deeper. Building blocks, okay. Though we spend a fair bit of time digging into... Okay, you know what? It's a bit too loud. On your side, I can make it louder. Digging into the major topics in this course, just a taste of what comes next. The last lesson of the course will give you an opportunity to choose between a full stack JavaScript and full stack Rails. Each part will focus on taking these broad building blocks and honing them into highly functional skill set. Maintained by professionals, just one of the best resources available and created a guide on how to go through them. If there are no good resources, you write our own. With that said, know that everything in the curriculum is intentionally included and vital for you to become a successful programmer. As you move forward in the curriculum, each portion is built on everything that came before it, so skipping things will create pockets of non-understanding in your knowledge that start to affect your ability to solve problems and understand the task at hand. Oh shit, it's 10 already. Additional resources are the only thing that is considered optional unless explicitly stated. Do not skip anything. Oh shit. Am I not supposed to skip this? Yes. Yes. Roadmap, yes. Learn by doing, yes. Receive support from others, yes. Very nice. 2015? This web page so long already. Or is it just the... Huh. Very nice. Máu alumni, ooh. Okay. Oh. So long ago. Oh my god. Absolute beginners, very nice. Nice to go. Big path 0 to point. How long does it take? You can't start from scratch and learn through everywhere in short period of time. No way. It's highly unlikely that you'll be employable after a weekend workshop. Don't necessarily need to put in 4 years getting computer science degree. Who is Odin? Very nice question. This is me when I open up OBS, because apparently I have 2 pop-ups. Yeah, I just click cancel. Who is Odin? Yes. Oh, this is just... okay. You don't have to. Very nice. Should I? Should I? Maybe I should. Hold up. Choi mate. I think this should be, no, I should refresh all my pages, yes. There's a letter G up there, that's not very nice. Or should I think I should, hold up. Is it even nice to do this? No, I think it's not. Okay, whatever lah. Anything somewhere here is fine. Left, right, here. Okay. Check off completed project lesson. Very nice. Yes. No. This one. What is this? This first time I'm hearing this. Oh. Okay. Yeah, yes, but no. I don't think I'll be interacting. How is this guitar? Oh, it changed already. How do I? Lah. Okay, very nice. This is just now the thing, which is these two, right? Oh, okay lah. Introduction to web development. It is starting. I'm afraid. All pass, but there's only 2 pass. Okay, very good. Wow, so many introduction. Build and maintain. Okay. Solving logical problems, building useful things, experimenting with new technologies. Generally. Back end of full stack, front end, back end, full stack. Front end is nav bar, HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Everything will ensure that front end is presented effectively. And refers to regards of application which live on the server. Stores data. Process can become complicated when the website has millions of users. Java, Python, Ruby, and JavaScript. Both front and back. We focus on teaching you full stack, covering all aspects. There's a client, large stack. Very nice. Phase of development. Highly unique environments, yes. You may not know what they are now, but you most certainly will be going forward. Damn, where am I reading this from, man? Oh, I'll need these. Yeah, acknowledges the need of what variety of skill sets at an employable level. Only whether it's constantly evolving because of people like you who get further along in the curriculum and pay it forward by incrementally improving our content over time. Or we get a better idea of what a web development actually does. Take a journey through the entire spectrum of topics. Following courses will dive deep into these topics. You'll build dozens of scripts, projects, and websites to cement those skills that will get you hired. Life changing. Wikipedia entry of web design describes the breadth of web development profession. Front-end, back-end, and full stack. Full stack. Just a guy in a suit, a businessman. Very nice. Breaking down barriers for people that is actually quite harmless. Also high expectations. To the early phases, yes. That's all despair. Oh, tough. From a blank text file, just enter a simple phase of learning. Confidence comes crashing down the cliff of confidence. So you build, you fight, and scratch your way to a barely functional solution, but there's something missing. A wall with bugs that makes what the oh. It feels like each issue was gained only a short lucky googling. Programming may not be perfect for everyone. We need to make progress because sometimes the unlikeliest of stories become the grandest successes. Scary part is that I haven't gotten to the meaty stuff yet. Second phase, key for provision is still very early. Two key factors at play. Another alarm. Am I able to see that? Yeah, I'm not able to see that. Okay. Resource density and scope of knowledge. Just me, sorry. So basically there are a lot of beginners. Well, when they do tougher stuff, it's very hard to search for resources. Oh, desert means lack of resources. Goodness. I thought it's the shape. Oh, with more technicals like industrial, this one. That resource density looks like each phase. The greater the line density indicates more resources. Yes. Oh. What's this? How to ask for help and so on. Very nice. Oh, today is hella hot. Every guy regardless of the rule for loop is. Since they get away from basics, I should have a notebook or some shit. Write down some cheat sheet. What is this? Oh. Oh, my nose. I don't understand what tools to use, what languages to learn. Object orientation. Yeah, let's go into the right point. You found your chosen technology and it's placed in the ecosystem. Pretty much. But I don't know how to get there, yes. I can really imagine it. Mirages of Mania. So I tried one of these and I couldn't follow through. I'm just afraid this will be the same. But I've got time. I've got time. Let's find some yeah, this kind of shit. Oh. Your Google Foo is excellent. when you found a website that you can trust, is it? Your code is duct tape and string. This is a bipolar face. It's actually traumatic. Okay, can I skip this? Okay. I have seen the road why users can be difficult. Combine all 4 phases. Something like this. This is the knowledge that you need, and this is the job. Huh. How to make it through a life? Yes. Build, collaborate. No. Collaborate so that you can ask people for information, I guess, rather than searching online where there are droughts of information. I don't think I can do this. Okay, I'm here. Already despairing at it. Oh, I use this for my math and science. I love it. There was also some slideshow pages that I used last time, but I need to log in and shit. Okay, where was I? Yes, very nice. Thinkful's one-on-one mentorship experience. Ignore anything of what you should learn. All code is the same at its face. Oh. You can pretend to be building by signing up for tutorials. Try to understand why the other did what they did. I have a strong goal. No, we will get there. We will get there. Focus and avoid distractions. If I can see what I want. best practices. Yeah, this is what I also want. Something about capitalizing your alphabets and shit. Spaces, indentations. What else? The layout, classes, IDs. This is what? Hypothesis and testing. Tackle the unsexy skills. Woo! Testing, data modeling, architecture, and development, which are easy to breeze past, are totally fundamental to good development. Key to accomplishing these things and pushing through the upswing of awesomeness to get feedback. So can it be done? Oh. What a lag. Why only until here, over here, then read more? This is advertisement, okay. Oh, this whole thing is advertisement. Nice. Just started, very nice. Does it have an update? Probably not. Does it have an update? I can't check his comments. Is able. Let's go. Let's not go. What is this? What did I click on to get this? This one. And this one. Okay. Breath. UI UX UI UX. Yes. Honestly, this is the one that scares me the most. Motion graphics. Static, dynamic. Dynamic is PHP. Can I not make it PHP? Okay, we shall see. Oh, graphic designers. Nah, I guess. Okay lah. Oh, I'm using ad blocker by the way. I have premium. No nothing. Finance and industry, okay. Frameworks and libraries. Accelerate development. Pre-built components and structures. I've done this before. I've heard of this. And I know nothing. Why or I have seen this in Android as a backend developer. There's SQL and shit. Oracle sounds familiar. Version control software legit. I always prefer backend because I love manipulating data. Okay, that was a full stack. Ah, jack of all trades, very nice. I don't know, do two at the price of one. You can be good at cooking or good at baking, but mastering both takes time and experience. Oh shit. Why did I not use the garlic in the fridge? Oh my god, my brain. No wonder the time the summer I make not nice ah. Ah! Yes. This scares me. Like they can specify this tree, but then they don't say what they use for this. Or like examples and shit. If you have artistic talent. The role of a CMS. Streamline the process of building and managing websites. Front end versus back end. Yes. Which is not very nice. Oh, here we go again. Okay lah. My left click not responsive anymore. Intriguing. Couldn't be happier than interested in web development, this guy. Apply for jobs or internship. Yes, I've been trying, but my resume is too shit. Am I taking too long for this? Let's go. Motivation and mindset. I gotta drink water first. Oh, what's this? Oh, this is so dumb. Wait, if I click this, okay. Takes time to acquire. Recognize sensible mindset, promote healthy learning. Helpful ways to approach learning and struggling. With top. Things to avoid along your. Okay. Sounds like a plan. Am I skipping things? Focus, yes. Diffuse is subconsciously. This is where breakthroughs happen. Like the garlic that I was thinking about. Yes, yes, I will be. Yes, thank you very much. I might just take a permanent break, bro. Oh, the Odin project! Oh my god, yo, I might. Okay. That was so dumb. Okay. Oh, what a flowchart. Start to lesson introducing concept. Yes. Practice concept. Yes. Am I aware of how to solve it? Yes. No. Have I researched and experimented? Okay. Oh, so this is if nothing is clarified, I have to start from basics. Okay, sounds good. It's like the artwork thing lah. You can't create your own. Asking good questions is an important skill. Wait, let me get rid of this. Wait. Code reviews, explain how and why you're presenting. Oh. Pretty sure there was once I wrote my own code, but I couldn't present cause why was it? Cause I only partially understand my own code. But it's a code that I written by myself. My examiner was very doubtful with whether the code that I did was my own work. Until I was like, huh? It's cause no, until I was like, huh? Then I started discreetly explaining why I wrote this part of the code. Then it's like, oh, and then he passed me. And he was nitpicking as to why I did it this way. I could tell that he was like, oh, this code isn't yours. Yeah, explaining is not my forte. And this song is pissing me off. There was like some beep 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 beep. Oh, it's gonna ruin my. I'm sorry. Oh, it's gonna ruin my algorithm or some shit. I'm pretty sure they'll explain it for you if you like, ask them to. Consistent time. I had a plan today but it was ruined. That's why I'm streaming it right now. No, I haven't started anything. This is still the refresh this page. This is the introduction. I'm gonna cry, dude. Self-paced, very nice. I forced to keep up, yes, understandable. And you have like what, 8 modules to catch up on when you haven't even watched any single tutorial until your recess week. Still pisses me off when I was studying at the living room and I was doubted for even studying. I was 100% focused until my focus was broken. Some mismatch expectation, yeah, that's okay. Deadlines cause unneeded stress. Yes and no, I guess. That should not be rushed. Research based. There's no guarantee or enough to meet your deadlines. You'll likely learn a ton along the way. People that do this kind of research will try to write better solutions and become better developers in the future. No way to know how long. No solid guidelines for that. We're doing a high-paying job right now. Yeah, I think I'm cooked. Okay, yes. Procrastination, beautiful, I love it. Sounds familiar. Ha, let's go. It's not overwhelming, 25 minutes. Counterintuitive, yes. This is what? This is like this is like when your alarm rings, you're left at a cliffhanger. It makes you want more, is it? Is that what it is? Solution, yes, very nice. Different frequency and durations of breaks. What to do during a break? So I shouldn't be listening to music right now. There are no games that last for 15 minutes, bro. Yes. I mean, I don't usually have notif. What about a cup of water? Maybe I can book a spot in the library. But my laptop is gonna work. Yes. Beautiful. I have nothing for my past self. I'm really better than my past self. Counterproductive note taking. Huh. Cheat sheet? No? Should I? Oh, TED Talk.
Courses to graduate, and if they didn't pass a course, they got the grade not yet. And I thought that was fantastic, because if you get a failing grade, you think, I'm nothing, I'm nowhere. But if you get the grade not yet, you understand that you're on a learning curve. It gives you a path into the future. Not yet also gave me insight into a critical event
11 years.
early in my career, a real turning point.
Is that a
I
transcript?
wanted to see how children coped with challenge and difficulty. So I gave 10-year-olds problems that were slightly too hard for them. Some of them reacted in a shockingly positive way. They said things like, I love a challenge. Or,
Just
I'm
brainwashed.
hoping this would be informative. They understood that their abilities could be developed. They had what I call a growth mindset. But other students felt it was tragic, catastrophic. From their more fixed mindset perspective, their intelligence had been up for judgment, and they failed. Instead of luxuriating in the power of yet, they were gripped in the tyranny of now. So what do they do next? I'll tell you what they do next. In one study, they told us they would probably cheat the next time instead of studying more if they failed a test. In another study, after a failure, they looked for someone who did worse than they did so they could feel really good about themselves. And in study after study, they have run from difficulty. Scientists measure the electrical activity from the brain as students confronted an error. On the left, you see the fixed mindset students. There's hardly any activity. They run from the error. They don't engage with it. But on the right, you have the students with the growth mindset, the idea that abilities can be developed. They engage deeply. Their brain is on fire with yet. They engage deeply. They process the error. They learn from it and they correct it. How are we raising our children? Are we raising them for now instead of yet? Are we raising kids who are obsessed with getting A's? Are we raising kids who don't know how to dream big dreams? Their biggest goal is getting the next A or the next test score? And are they carrying this need for constant validation with them into their future lives? Maybe because employers are coming to me and saying, we have already raised a generation of young workers who can't get through the day without an award. So, what can we do? How can we build that bridge to get? Here are some things we can do. First of all, we can praise wisely, not praising intelligence or talent. That has failed. Don't do that anymore, but praising the process that kids engage in. Their effort, their strategies, their focus, their perseverance, their improvement. This process praise creates kids who are hardy and resilient. There are other ways to reward YAT. We recently teamed up with game
Praise
scientists
talent.
from the
That's
University
what,
of Washington
that's what
to
Asian
create
parents
a
do.
new online math game that rewarded YAT. In this game, students were rewarded for effort, strategy, and progress. The usual math game rewards you for getting answers right now, but this game rewarded process. And we got more effort, more strategies, more engagement over longer periods of time, and more perseverance when they hit really, really hard problems. Just the words yet or not yet we're finding give kids greater confidence, give them a path into the future that creates greater persistence. And we can actually change students' mindsets. In one study, we taught them that every time they push out of their comfort zone to learn something new and difficult, the neurons in their brain can form new, stronger connections, and over time, they can get smarter. Look what happened. In this study, students who were not taught this growth mindset continued to show declining grades over this difficult school transition. But those who were taught this lesson showed a sharp rebound in their grades. We have shown this now, this kind of improvement, with thousands and thousands of kids, especially struggling students. So let's talk about equality. In our country, there are groups of students who chronically underperform. For example, children in inner cities or children on Native American reservations. And they've done so poorly for so long that many people think it's inevitable. But when educators create growth mindset classrooms steeped in YET, equality happens. And here are just a few examples. In 1 year, a kindergarten class in Harlem, New York, scored in the 95th percentile on the National Achievement Test. Many of those kids could not hold a pencil when they arrived at school. In 1 year, fourth grade students in the South Bronx, way behind, became the #1 fourth grade class in the state of New York on the state math test. In a year to a year and a half, Native American students in a school on a reservation went from the bottom of their district to the top. And that district included affluent sections of Seattle. So the Native kids outdid the Microsoft kids. This happened because the meaning of effort and difficulty were transformed. Before, effort and difficulty made them feel dumb, made them feel like giving up. But now, effort and difficulty, that's when their neurons are making new connections, stronger connections. That's when they're getting smarter. I received a letter recently from a 13-year-old boy. He said, "Dear Professor Dweck, I appreciate that your writing is based on solid scientific research, and that's why I decided to put it into practice. I put more effort into my schoolwork, into my relationship with my family, and into my relationship with kids at school, and I experienced great improvement in all of those areas. I now realize I've wasted most of my life. Let's not waste any more lives, because once we know that abilities are capable of such growth, it becomes a basic human right for children, all children, to live in places that create that growth, to live in places filled with YET." Thank you.
Hey yo, what is this? Why is this popping up? Is this the website? Is this part of the website? Oh yeah, it's part of the website, okay. I thought it's part of my Okay, yes, very nice. Ah, yes.
For a job that was even more demanding, teaching. I went to teach 7th graders math in the New York City public schools. And like any teacher, I made quizzes and tests, I gave out homework assignments. When the work came back, I calculated grades. What struck me was that IQ was not the only difference between my best and my worst students. Some of my strongest performers did not have stratospheric IQ scores. Some of my smartest kids weren't doing so well. And that got me thinking. Kind of things you need to learn in 7th grade math. Sure, they're hard. Ratios, decimals, the area of a parallelogram. But these concepts are not impossible. And I was firmly convinced that every one of my students could learn the material if they worked hard and long enough. After several more years of teaching, I came to the conclusion that what we need in education is a much better understanding of students and learning from a motivational perspective, from a psychological perspective. In education,
Got me
the
caught
whole
on got me caught on area of a parallelogram. I was like, half time based on height, based on sight.
we know how to measure best is IQ. But what if doing well in school and in life depends on much more than your ability to learn quickly and easily? So I left the classroom and I went to graduate school to become a psychologist. I started studying kids and adults in all kinds of super challenging settings. And in every study, my question was, who is successful here and why? My research team and I went to West Point Military Academy. We tried to predict which cadets would stay in military training and which would drop out.
Yeah.
We went to the National Spelling Bee and tried to predict which children would advance farthest in competition. We studied rookie teachers working in really tough neighborhoods, asking which teachers are still going to be here in teaching by the end of the school year. And of those, who will be the most effective at improving learning outcomes for their students? We partnered with private companies asking which of these salespeople is going to keep their jobs, and who's going to earn the most money. In all those very different contexts, one characteristic emerged as a significant predictor of success. And it wasn't social intelligence, it wasn't good looks, physical health, and it wasn't IQ. It was grit. Grit is passion and perseverance for very long-term goals. Grit is having stamina. Grit is sticking with your future, day in, day out, not just for the week, not just for the month.
I just realized my video's gonna get strike from this one.
To make that future a reality. Grit is living life like it's a marathon, not a sprint. A few years ago, I started studying grit in the Chicago public schools. I asked thousands of high school juniors to take grit questionnaires, and then waited around more than a year to see who would graduate. Turns out that grittier kids were significantly more likely to graduate, even when I matched them on every characteristic I could measure. Things like family income, standardized achievement test scores, even how safe kids felt when they were at school. So it's not just at West Point or the National Spelling Bee that grit matters, it's also in school, especially for kids at risk for dropping. To me, the most shocking thing about grit is how little
I think the
we
two
know,
videos
how
are
little science there is about learning.
similar.
Every day, parents and teachers ask me, how do I build grit in kids? What do I do to teach kids a solid work ethic? How do I keep them motivated for the long run? The honest answer is, I don't know. What I do know is that talent doesn't make you gritty. Our data show very clearly
Not even a
that
good
there
job.
are many talented individuals who simply do not follow through on their commitments. In fact, in our data, grit is usually unrelated or even inversely related to measures of talent. So far, the best idea I've heard about building grit in kids is something
Oh,
called
you
growth
are.
mindset. This is an idea developed at Stanford University by Carol Dweck, and it is the belief that the ability to learn is not fixed, that it can change with your effort. Dr. Dweck has shown that when kids read and learn about the brain and how it changes and grows in response to challenge, they're much more likely to persevere when they fail, because they don't believe that failure is a permanent condition. So growth mindset is a great idea for building grit, but we need more. And that's where I'm going to end my remarks, because that's where we are. That's the work that stands before us. We need to take our best ideas,
Yeah, we
our
need
smartest
more.
intuitions, and we need to test them. We need to measure whether we've been successful, and we have to be willing to fail, to be wrong, to start over again with lessons learned. In other words, we need to be gritty about getting our kids grittier. Thank you.
Okay, very nice. Is the transcript, I think. Okay. Shall I read it out? My 5-year-old son has just started reading. Every night we lie on his bed and he reads a short book to me. Inevitably, he'll hit a word that he has trouble with. Last night, the word was gratefully. He eventually got it after a fairly painful minute. He then said, "Dad, aren't you glad how I struggled with that word?" I think I could feel my brain growing. I smiled. My son was now verbalizing the telltale signs of a growth mindset. But this wasn't by accident. Recently, I put into practice research I have been reading about for the past few years. I decided to praise my son not when he succeeded at things he was already good at, but when he persevered with things that he found difficult. I stressed to him that by struggling, your brain grows. Between the deep body of research on the field of learning mindsets and this personal experience with my son, I'm more convinced than ever that mindsets towards learning could matter more than anything else we teach. Researchers have known for some time that the brain is like a muscle, and the more you use it, the more it grows. They found that neural connections form and deepen most when we make mistakes doing difficult tasks rather than repeatedly having success with easy ones. What this means is that our intelligence is not fixed, and the best way that we can grow our intelligence is to embrace tasks where we might struggle and fail. However, not everyone realizes this. This person from this school has been studying people's mindset towards learning for decades. She has found that most people adhere to one or two mindsets, fixed or growth. Fixed mindset is mistakenly Fixed mindsets mistakenly believe that people are either smart or not. Their intelligence is fixed by genes. This is very much the wuxia stories in China. People with growth mindsets correctly believe that capability and intelligence can be grown through effort, struggle, and failure. Black found that those with a fixed mindset tended to focus their effort on tasks where they had a high likelihood of success and avoided tasks where they may have had to struggle, which limited their learning. So I can't read for shit. People with a growth mindset, however, embraced challenges and understood that tenacity and effort could change their learning outcomes. As you can imagine, this correlated with the latter group more actively pushing themselves and growing intellectually. The good news is that mindsets can be taught, they are malleable. What's really fascinating is that Dweck and others have developed techniques that they call growth mindset interventions, which have shown that even small changes in communication or seemingly innocuous comments can have fairly long-lasting implications for a person's mindset. Oh shit. Why am I using my touchpad? This should be like what? Fleeting comments? Okay. For instance, praising someone's process. I really like how you struggle with that problem. Versus praising an innate talent or trait. You're so clever. Is one way to reinforce a growth mindset with someone. Process praise acknowledges the effort. Process praise acknowledges the talent praise reinforces the notion that one only succeeds based on fixed trait. And we've seen this on Khan Academy as well. Students are spending more time learning on Khan Academy after being exposed to messages that praise their tenacity and grit, and they underscore that the brain is like muscle. I don't think I can read all of this, holy shit. Oh, it's not even all of this, okay. I was about to give up. Okay, the internet is a dream for someone with a growth mindset. There is unprecedented access to endless content to help you grow your mind. However, society isn't going to fully take advantage of this without growth mindsets being more prevalent. Yes. So what if we actively tried to change that? What if we began using whatever means are at our disposal to start performing growth mindsets interventions on everyone we care about? This is much bigger than Khan Academy or algebra. It teaches where's the word teaches? Yo, I'm high as fuck. It applies to how you communicate with your children, how you manage your team at work, how you learn a new language or instrument. If society as a whole begins to embrace the struggles of learning, there is no end to what that could mean for global human potential. And now here's a surprise for you. By reading this article itself, we've just undergone the first half of growth mindset intervention. The research shows that just being exposed to the research itself, for example, knowing the brain grows most by getting questions wrong or right, can begin to change a person's mindset. Second half of the intervention is for you to communicate the research with others. We've made a video that celebrates the struggle of learning. How do you do this? After all, my son or for that matter, anyone asks me about learning, anyone else asks me about learning, I only want them to know one thing. As long as they embrace struggle and mistakes, they can learn anything. Is it happening? Happening. You can learn anything, yes. Is this person's son or
Nobody's
some
born
shit?
smart. We all start at zero.
Oh no, this is just the oh okay.
Can't talk, can't walk, certainly can't do algebra. Anything at first.
That's not what I want to
There
press.
was a time when Einstein couldn't count to 10. And Shakespeare had to learn his ABCs just like the rest of us. Thankfully, we're born to learn. Slowly, surely, you stumble, slip, crawl, fall, and fail and fall. Frustrating, confusing, trying, struggling, until one day, you walk. One foot in front of the other, one idea on top of the next, each wrong answer making your brain a little bit stronger. Failing is just another word for growing, and you keep going. This is learning. Knowing that you'll get it, even if you haven't gotten it yet. Because the most beautiful, complex concepts in the whole universe are built on basic ideas that anyone, anywhere, can understand. Whoever you are, wherever you are, you only have to know one thing. You can learn anything.
Yes, very nice. Okay. Have I not clicked on this? Oh no, it's YouTube. Can I? Do you have? Yes, you have. You have. Yes, you have.
By the time I hit 10th grade, I'd lived in 10 different places. Math was extraordinarily significant. And by the time I hit 3rd grade, I'd fallen off the math bandwagon. Basically, I flunked my way through elementary, middle, and high school math and science. So it's a little strange looking back now because today I'm a professor of engineering and I'm passionate about my job. One day, one of my students found out about my past and he asked me, how did you do it? How did you change your brain? And I thought, how did I do it? I mean, here I was, this little kid, and I just loved language and culture, and that's all I wanted to know when I grew up. But I didn't have the money to go to college, so I enlisted in the Army right out of high school to learn a language. And you can see me there looking very nervous about to throw a grenade. And I did learn language. I learned Russian, and I ended up working out on Soviet trawlers up on the Bering Sea as a Russian translator. So I just love adventure and getting new perspectives. So I also ended up in Antarctica at the South Pole Station, and that's where I ended up meeting my husband. So I always say,
Very
I
nice.
had to go to the end of the earth to meet that man. But I began to realize something. I was doing all these adventures and seeing these new perspectives, but somehow they were always external. They weren't internal. I wasn't changing inside. When I worked in the military, I worked with all these West Point engineers. I mean, they had these powerful techniques for problem solving. And I thought, I'd look sometimes at what
The
they
way
were
she
doing,
hold the pointer looks like holding a grenade. I got.
and I thought, I'd look sometimes at what they were doing, and they had these calculus and physics books, and it looked like hieroglyphics to me. But I
Yes.
thought, what if I could get those ideas? What if I could learn that language? I mean, the world's evolving. Language and culture are important, but math and science and technology are important too. What if I could learn these new ideas and add them to the ideas I already knew and loved? So, when I got out of the military at age 26, I decided to try and change my brain. It wasn't easy. But if I knew then what I know now about how to learn, I could have learned much more easily and much more effectively. So several years ago, as I began trying to answer that student's question, how did I change my brain? I began reaching out to top professors from around the world, people who not only had knowledge of their difficult areas of expertise, but also who could teach effectively. And I asked them, I said, how did you learn? And how do you teach so others can learn? And what I found was, the way they learned and the way they taught was often similar to the way I learned and I taught. It was almost like this kind of shared fraternal handshake. But we often didn't know why we did what we did. So I began researching neuroscience and cognitive psychology and reaching out to talk to top experts in those fields. And here is what I found,
Reaching out.
the keys to learning a
This is
thing.
what I probably cannot do.
Now, as we know,
I probably can do it,
brain is enormously complex.
but hesitant to
But
do
we
it.
can simplify its operation into two fundamentally different modes. The first is what I'll call the focus mode. And the focus mode is just like it sounds like. You turn your attention to something and boom, it's on. But the second mode is a little different. It's a relaxed
Diffuse
set of
mode.
neuroscience
Oh, this is where you get the
It's a number of resting states. And so it seems that when you're learning, you're going back and forth between these two different modes. Now, how can we better understand these modes? Through analogy. Now, what we're going to use is a pinball machine analogy. And you all know how pinballs work. You just pull back on the plunger and the ball goes blinking out and bounces around on the rubber bumpers, and that's how you have points. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this pinball and we're going to put it right on your brain, right?
Huh?
So there it is.
Okay.
There's the pinball machine on your brain. And if you look, this is the analogy for the focus mode. And when you're learning, you're often thinking tightly as you're focusing on something. It involves thoughts you're somewhat familiar with, perhaps historical patterns, or you're familiar with the multiplication table. So you think a thought, and it takes off and moves along smoothly, pretty much along the pathways that you've already learned. But what if the thought you're thinking is actually a new thought, a new concept, a new technique that you've never thought of before? Well, that's symbolized by this new pattern towards the bottom of the pinball machine metaphor. To get to this new place, I mean, at least sort of metaphorically speaking, look at all the rubber bumpers that are in the way. How can you even get there? You need a different way of thinking, a new perspective, in a sense. And that's provided here by the diffuse mode. Look at how far apart those rubber bumpers are from one another. When you think a thought, it takes off and can range very widely as you're attempting to come up with some new ideas. So you can't do the careful focus thinking that you can in the focus mode, but you can at least get to the place you need to be in to handle with these new ideas.
Okay.
So the bottom line for all of us out of this is this. When you're learning, you want to go back and forth between these modes. And if you find yourself
It's the
as you're
hard and
focusing on
moment.
something, trying to learn a new concept or solve a problem, and you get stuck, you want to turn your attention away from that problem and allow the diffuse modes, those resting states, to do their work in the background. Now, how can we actually use these ideas in real life? If you look at this guy right here, he was Salvador Dali, one of the most brilliant surrealist painters of the 20th century. Dali was the very definition of a wild and crazy guy. You can see him there, he's got his pet ocelot baboon. And what Dali used to do when he was kind of stuck as he was solving some problem related to his painting is he'd sit down and he'd relax in a chair and he'd have keys in his hands. And he'd hold those keys and he'd relax and kind of let his brain noodle away. And just as he relaxed so much that he'd fall asleep, the keys would fall from his hands, the clatter would wake him up, and off he'd go. He'd take those ideas from the diffuse mode over to the focus mode where he could work with them, refine them, and use them for his painting. So you might think, well, that's great. It's good for an artist. But I'm an engineer, so how can I use these ideas? Well, if you see this guy right here, he was Thomas Edison, one of the most brilliant inventors in history. And what
Is this the actual photo?
according to legend, he'd sit in a chair with ball bearings in his hand, and he'd relax away, kind of thinking about a problem loosely that he was trying to solve related to his invention, relaxing, and then just as he'd fall asleep, the ball bearings would fall from his hands, and off he'd go. He'd be woken up, and he'd take those ideas from the diffuse mode back into the focus mode, and he'd use them to refine and finish his inventions. So the bottom line for all of us out of this is this. Whenever you're sitting down to solve a new problem or analyze a new idea, even if millions of other people have thought the same thoughts or solved the same problems, for you, it's just as creative as it was for famous people like Dali and Edison. And you want to use some of these creative
Yes.
So, but you might say to me, yeah, I got a problem. I love to procrastinate.
No, that's not my problem,
that
but
course,
okay.
that was great.
I mean, that is my problem, but that's not my current problem.
So let's talk just a little bit about procrastination. What seems to happen when you procrastinate is this. You look at something you'd really rather not do, and you actually feel a physical pain in the part of your brain that analyzes time. So there's two ways that you can handle this. The first way is you can just kind of keep working away through it. And research has shown that within a few minutes it actually will disappear. But the second way is you just turn your attention away, and guess what? You feel better, right away. So you do this once, you do this twice, it's just not that big a deal. But
Feel
you do this
better,
very
yes.
often, and it's actually like an addiction. It can really cause problems.
Oh,
for
because you
you.
feel better. Because
So
your
how
brain
do
is
you
not as
do
tight
this?
anymore.
A very simple way.
Oh
This
my
is the
god.
Pomodoro technique.
Yo,
The
this
Pomodoro technique, as it turns out, all you need to do
this
is
whole
set
thing
a
is
timer
copied, is
and
it?
set it for 25 minutes, and make sure everything else is turned off. So no instant messages, nothing like that. And you work your focused attention for 25 minutes. Anybody can do 25 minutes virtually. And when you're done, you do something.
I'm gonna
Just
speed
a
this
little
up.
bit. Listen, relax a little. There's things that you are. They say, I'm going to work with focused attention. If they're able to grasp, you are more creative. Thinking you are that. And that's, I mean, but a hiker has a completely different experience. A hiker can smell the pine air, they can reach more profound, and you don't jump to conclusions. So if you, but think of yourself as a hiker. Yes, a race car driver gets there much faster than you ever could. But a hiker has a completely different experience. A hiker can smell the pine air, they can reach out, touch the leaves, they see the rabbit trails. In many ways, your experiences are deeper and more profound, and you don't jump to conclusions. So if you're a slower thinker, yes, you may have to work harder in order to grasp the materials, but the trade-offs, in many cases, are well worth it. You gain solid mastery of what you're studying. So there is something called illusions of competence in learning. And what this means is you can study all day long, and you can be spinning your wheels because you're not using effective study techniques. There is such a thing as test anxiety, but in many cases, surprisingly, it arises because you just come face to face with the scary bear. And that is that you have just learned that you are not a master of the material. Researchers with both critters and people are finding powerful insights into how we can learn most effectively. One of those ways is simply through exercise. Exercise within a matter of a few days can increase our ability to learn and to remember, and researchers are beginning to understand the neurophysiological pathways that allow this to occur. Tests. Tests are the best. Test yourself all the time. Give yourself a little mini-quiz.
Yeah, sure.
Flashcards, even in math and science. Mix them up. Study them in different places. And this brings me to homework.
Oh.
When you do a homework problem, never just work it once and put it away. Would you ever sing a song once and think you knew that song? No. Work that, test yourself. Work that homework problem several times over several days until the solution flows like a song in your mind. Recall. When you're looking at a page as you're trying to learn something in a book, people's tendency is to highlight, right? There's something about the motion of the pen on the page that makes you think that it's actually going into your brain, but it often isn't. And so often, sometimes people will just reread, but that too is simply spinning your wheels. The most effective technique is simply to look at a page, look away, and see what you can recall. And doing this, as it seems, helps to build profound neural hooks that help enhance your understanding of the material. And finally, don't be fooled by the erroneous idea that understanding alone is enough to build mastery of the material. Understanding is truly important, but only when combined with practice and repetition in a variety of circumstances can you truly gain mastery over what you're learning. So, in closing, I would like to say that learning how to learn is the most powerful tool you can ever grasp. Don't just follow your passions, broaden your passions, and your life will be enriched beyond measure.
Oh, I drifted away for the last few minutes. But yeah, sure. Okay lah. Let's check. This is the test they're talking about, yes. Yes. Dude, I don't know. I understand how the program is being programmed. Is that why it is? Diffuse and focus, yes, okay. How do they differ? Diffuse is to connect your thoughts. Focus is to learn something new? That's how program what means actually. Google and what? Oh, ask for help, yes. And what? What's the last one? Ask for help, yes. Research, Google, yes. And what else? Take a break. Okay, yes. Cause stress. You stress, you skip some topics that might be important. Okay. This is the second one that we watched, right? Oh, I don't know, yeah. Thank you very much. That's useless. I thought there'd be like a transcript or some shit. Come here, bottom, haha. Damn, I just come back to this. Okay, I think I'll stop here for the day. 1 hour 33 minutes. This is pathetic. I'll be back tomorrow? Later today? We shall see. But definitely tomorrow. This is... Oh, you can't even see my hand. Okay, this is goodbye. This is... Wait, is my mic still on? Yes, this is goodbye. Bye bye!